everyone, and welcome to Photo Finds. I'm your host, Gavin Hatch, and this is episode number 113. This week we're over at Disney's Hollywood Studios. It's been quite some time since I have personally been in this park. I think it's been just after the holidays or during the holiday time that I was here last, so it has been quite some time. And of course, there's been lots of progress, especially very recently on Star Wars Land, Toy Story Land, and there are some other things around the park I have not seen for myself and want to show you guys. So let's take a look here. So coming up to the main entrance area, over by where the buses are located, to the left of this, there used to be a walkway. You could cross the street where the trams go, and from the parking lot, you would be able to choose to go through the main entrance, through the main security area where most guests do go, especially if you take the tram and where it drops you off. But there was also a secondary location, a second entrance, not really into the park, but to the main plaza area by the ticket booths. And this was over here by the administration building for the park, and where cast members also usually park. So they do have a security guard on hand now to tell guests to go across the street and to go only through one way, the main entrance now. But you used to be able to walk over here by the administration building, and there was a single table here. You can even still see the mirror that was used for security guards to help look underneath strollers and things like that. That table's been removed. The fan's still there. There's still a sign about the security checks. All the metal detectors have been removed, but they used to have 1 or 2 guards here every day, and guests could easily just walk on through and get checked and go up to the entrance. But for some reason, I'm not sure the reasoning behind it, they have taken it away. So I know this wasn't done very recently. This is like a new thing. It's been done within the past year, though. Within the past 6 months, it has been taking place. So very interesting that they aren't staffing this area, this entrance. Maybe that's why, just for staffing to save some money. But they are still using, of course, some labor on having a cast member, a security guard, over at the parking lot area to tell guests to cross the street and go through the main entrance. Now, once we're inside the park, I've noticed they have an Xbox game port. Now, I'm not a gamer myself, but I like seeing this because it's a little weird, having video games inside theme parks when you are paying that kind of money to come in and get entertained and see attractions and instead playing video games. But this is something that's really nostalgic for me because I'm a 90s kid. I went to Epcot in the 90s, and Epcot in the 90s was very video game heavy. Like, you would go through Innoventions, and of course you had Sega Genesis. It was a new thing back then. Nintendo had been around for a little while, but it was still relatively new, and they had new products, and so they would really, especially with Sega and Sonic the Hedgehog, you would have all those game systems inside Innoventions and the new Innoventions, and it would be just something that you'd see lots of kids always lining up to do. And now they have this over here in Hollywood Studios. So you can go up to an Xbox console. They have multiple ones, as you can see, and you can play the Disney Infinity game with the Star Wars characters. Of course, it's connected to the theater where the Star Wars Path of the Jedi film is shown all throughout the day. Now, one of the main reasons I wanted to come to Disney's Hollywood Studios was to take a look at this here. Now, there is a lot of construction going on, and they have gone vertical when it comes to the Star Wars land, so we are starting to see that take shape. Still very early stages, but we can see buildings going up, concrete and steel work is there, which is really exciting because I want to see how this turns out. I'm not a huge Star Wars fan, but this is something that, the park has definitely needs some love and some expansion. It's been hard to say goodbye to stuff, but it kind of makes it better though, and it's not as painful seeing this. Now, as you can see, these are, if you are a fan of MGM Studios or Hollywood Studios, you will know that these are actually the buildings, the facades for the Streets of America, part of the New York area, that are still there. They did not tear these down, and they recently painted them and gave them a fresh coat of paint, which looks really good. And I don't know, I really haven't read into it online. I've stayed away from the blogs and stuff like that to see what people are saying this is going to be and what they're going to be used for, if it will be tied into Star Wars somehow, if they're going to kind of just have this here for, I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do with it. I don't want to know. I kind of just want to be surprised. But this is really interesting. And taking a shot here from distance, you can see they've gone ahead and already removed. They took this away a while ago, but the balloon from the Muppets 3D attraction. So the balloon is gone there, the hot air balloon that had Kermit's face on it. And the fountain is still not working. It's still plants in the fountain over there in the plaza, or the courtyard for the Muppets. But yeah, you can really see it's coming along, and from a distance, or looking up close I should say, you can see that they are also building another building here next to right here, you can see where there's just some stonework and some concrete that's been played, but people are saying that it looks similar to the library facade that used to be there. If they're rebuilding that, or if they're just continuing to build onto the streets of America, who knows? But it looks good. I'm excited. It's going to be a while. We still have a while to go. But I noticed I like the construction wall though. The construction wall did have some really cool posters for different attractions that are still inside the park. One of them being my favorite here. This is the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror, and this is a really cool poster, so I noticed that. Now, I did poke my head over in the One Man's Dream exhibit that has been here for quite some time now, and it's something I really enjoy because it's really the only place, I feel like, in all the parks that you can go to, and it's really just educational, and you can learn about Walt and see some really great photos from his childhood and growing up and stuff that they did in the studio all the way up to Disneyland. And I will say this, it's kind of hard to go through there now because it's different. They have really commercialized it, and when you go through there, you will see they are changing it out with meet and greets now for, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and then they have the preview area, what used to show a video, based on Walt Disney and learning about him. It's now, of course, just previews of new upcoming films coming out. Right now, it's for Cars 3. So, and I kind of bit my tongue with that, and I was like, okay, that's fine, it's whatever, I understand, use that theater for something that's going to give them more profit. But now, inside of this building, inside of One Man's Dream, they have merchandise for Cars 3, and they took away some really beautiful models, the scale models that they used for the Tree of Life and the Tower of Terror and Disney Sea. It's just like they got rid of that stuff, and it's really sad because that was really interesting to see. And I don't know, I know this has been rumored to go away for quite some time, but it's kind of, might as well just get rid of all of it and like a band-aid, take it off in one motion. But right now they're just like taking away pieces little by little, and it's really hard to go through there because it used to be really, really cool. I loved it. So continuing on though, walking past that, there is the construction wall that has the Toy Story Land concept art here. It's gone through some changes since it originally released concept art. They have scaled back some because of budgeting, and it's still looking good though. I'm not super excited about this because the two attractions are not, groundbreaking, but they are going to be cute, and of course more stuff for the kids and families to do inside of Hollywood Studios. And I like the wall here. You can see they have the Toy Story Land wall, which is heavily themed and really cute and goes along perfectly with the characters. And they're all doing something, as you can see here, to get ready. We have Buzz with blueprints. You have Jessie, inside the tractor. Slinky Dog is getting ready. And then you have, of course, the Green Soldiers carrying a screwdriver, and that's really cool. And then they have this really neat little tagline here, "Guess who's playing in Andy's backyard?" And it has the Toy Story Land logo there, which is really, really nifty. And then if you keep going on through Pixar Studios area, you have a bar. Now this is something that probably isn't going to be here just for the summer season. I'm not sure how long it has been here or what they're planning to do with it. It's not permanent at all, but it is kind of nice, and it is a crowded area, and I'm sure you probably see lots of adults grab a cocktail to get into that long line for Toy Story Midway Mania. But it is it's a nice little thing here. So they have some specialty cocktails averaging out just over $13 each. You have beer for $8 and some kids beverages as well. Now they are advertising and doing some meet and greets with the new character crews from Cars 3, so this is something that you can do over there in the Pixar area. And then they have the You've Got a Friend in Me and the marquee here that used to be the entrance to lots of different attractions in the past here. This was actual working soundstage back in the day when it was MGM Studios, but then it was Who Wants to Be a Millionaire Play It, and then now it's been expanded. It's the expanded area for Toy Story Midway Mania, so they've added more track, or in the process of doing that, so that is there. And then we have the Green Army Men out here also playing and interacting with kids and guests, and this is my first time seeing one of those Green Army Men actually talk. They usually, when they do meet and greets around this area of the park, they do not talk, but this one did have a megaphone here. And when we were walking back out, I noticed that they had over in this merchandise location across from the ride, they did have this little playmat area with actual toys, a Buzz and a Woody and a Jessie and a Mr. Potato Head, the Green Army Men. They had this sitting here. There was no kids playing with it, but you can tell that definitely kids will come over here and sit down and play with these toys. And it's just really cute because obviously you're in the perfect place to be playing with Toy Story character toys, so it's really cute. Now leaving, I also saw in one of the locations that sells all kinds of different items, especially I love Disney like home goods, like stuffed dishes and things like that, and this is really cute. This is my first time seeing this design, locally grown, with Mickey holding orange, and it's very Florida-esque, and it's neat. And they have one as well with Minnie, but I like the side of it. It says premium, fresh, quality. It's just really cute. So did not make that purchase though. It's still back at the store, but maybe one day I will grab that, but I thought that was adorable. Well, that will do it for this week's edition of Photo Finds. I hope all of you have a wonderful week. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up, comment below, like it, share it, do all that good stuff. Make sure you subscribe to Attractions Magazine, and I will see you next week. Until then, get out, have fun, and enjoy those parks.